Hello, everybody, and welcome to United Talks Podcast. Welcome to another episode of United Talks Podcast. And we're doing a new show. I'm just trying this out and see how kind of gauge the environment and see how things are working. It's going to be United Talks Weekly. So it's basically talking about all my United news with regards to, the week and everything in between. But I have with me for the first time on this channel, Awesome FC, Mr. Awesome, my very good friend.
My pleasure.
Yeah, it's good to have you on the show. Really
My pleasure.
interesting. I've always looked forward to having you on United Talks podcast, and now I have you. Yes, we featured a couple times on El Pablo FC, but now this is on this side. We're going to talk about all things Man United. 3 things on the agenda today: Manchester United players at the World Cup, Manchester United transfer window so far, and the stadium. Right, the stadium talk. And you guys have seen videos I've done. I did a video recently about Man United getting the land for the stadium. So we'll start with that. But thank you so much, Mr. Awesome, for joining me. Let's quickly run through this. Now, the first thing on the agenda, which I would like to know basically what Mr. Awesome thinks about in this one, is the Manchester United Stadium. Now, news came out the other day that Man United had secured the land. This is from the Man United website. Now, Man United had secured the land that they need to actually build the stadium. And I was caught unawares with that because I wanted to understand the logic behind that and how. So let's talk about it. Man United secured the land that they needed to use to build the stadium. Tell me your thoughts.
Well, I think it's a welcome development for a top club. I think one of the top 3 clubs in the world. If you look at Barcelona, you look at Real Madrid Stadium, then compare it with Manchester United Stadium. The standards are way higher. You can't compare. Let's take the history. Let's take the honor. Let's take everything Old Trafford holds. You can't compare the kind of modern infrastructure at the Emirates Stadium, at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, at the London Stadium, at Anfield also, at the Etihad Stadium, at various stadiums all across England, the Metropolitano Stadium in Spain, that is the Atletico Madrid Stadium, the Allianz Arena, the Dortmund Stadium, every other stadiums around the world. You can't take the kind of progress, the kind of infrastructure they actually have in place. And it's a welcome development. I think after 1 year and 1 month, I think it was flagged up in May or March 2025.
2025. Yeah.
Yeah, that was when it was proposed, and they've been back and forth on it. And at the end of the day, they were actually able to get through the line. And let's hope after getting the land, they move straight into business and not just taking them another 1 year to actually release a plan and start the groundwork, the ground layer. I've been quite busy and I've not been able to actually dive
Do a research
into
on that.
the cost and how much they were able to get it. And finally, I know the Freightliner will be out, and it's not even far from. I think it's about, is it 300 and something meters off Old
350
Trafford?
meters from the Old Trafford Stadium. Now I'm
and
going to shock you
the
with...
joy
Go
is
ahead.
Old Trafford will still remain
Stand.
there. It will be
Okay.
used by the female team, and subsequently, as time goes on, maybe when the new stadium is ready, they are going to renovate it and they will be interchanging and be having matches on the new stadium and at Old Trafford.
So based on like my research on this report, basically Manchester United have secured the majority of the land needed. So keyword majority needed to build their proposed new 100,000 seater capacity stadium. And United announced this on Monday that they've acquired a 25-acre, 10-hectare site close to the current Old Trafford home. Now, the land purchase is a major step forward in United's plans to build Britain's biggest sporting arena. The triangular-shaped plot is 350 meters of northwest of Old Trafford, which means it's adjacent, it's adjacent to the land, right? So it's next to the land owned by Freightliner, which means that land will not be required. That's the interesting thing about this news, that they will not require the land owned by the Freightliner, which Freightliner was trying to bid, kind of ask for ridiculous prices. And then eventually they went on and got another land and purchased it ahead of that. So the question when I did my research was that, does this affect basically Man United's purchase of the Freightliner? And it's like, no, Manchester United's recent land acquisition does not affect the new, for the new stadium, does not include the Freightliner land. And I asked again, what does this mean? And he says, basically, the new land deal ensures that Manchester United will continue playing at Old Trafford, right? Right. So, like you mentioned, just reliably, Old Trafford is going to be there. Morocco finished the group with 7 points. Just an update. Brazil finished the group with 7 points. More goals difference. Scotland are finishing third. Haiti are finishing the group last with no points. Anyway, back to that. We'll come to the World Cup performances of players. Now, there's the land. Now, the good thing about that Freightliner land, which I feel like it was good that we didn't get that Freightliner land, is because if we got the Freightliner land, we might have to demolish Old Trafford. Now, without that Freightliner land, we might need to just build another stadium away from Old Trafford. The rumors that I'm hearing is that we will scale down Old Trafford from a 70,000 seater to a 30,000 seater stadium, so that it can feature other what do you call it? It can feature other games like the women's and the men's, right? The women's and the youth academy football and stuff like that. Yeah, there could be a scale down and there could be a complete demolition for regeneration, which means they might turn that place into basically a place where they can build about 15,000 homes. But yeah, there's a bit of controversy around that. There's a bit of controversy around what people think about taking down Old Trafford, the history, the whole the number of players that have played there and all of that. Go
I
ahead.
think this doesn't sit well with me, in all honesty.
Okay.
Bernabeu taking down the other stadium and the other pitch Barcelona was using before the Bernabeu. Is that Johan Cruyff? Is it Johan Cruyff something?
Johan Cruyff Arena.
Was it taken down? No. Why is Manchester United board? Why are Ineos and Glazers doing this? Why do they want to even downgrade the seating capacity? Why did you want to take away the history? Every Champions League United won, this stadium holds seats. Every Premier League we won, every major trophy, every historical event in this club is actually housed by Old Trafford. Why do you want to downgrade? If you don't have the money to actually invest into some major things, wait till you have the money. You don't have to do it. What happened?
Yeah.
What happened? Kids that are now born, let's say from 1 year to the next 20 years, then they start hearing about Manchester United. Okay, take me to the stadium, take me to Old Trafford that holds that history and everything, where everything happened at Manchester United. Then you now find out it is being granted. It doesn't make sense. If Ineos doesn't have money to actually implement all those things, why are they projecting it? Why? Because me, I'm against it. You don't have to take Old Trafford down.
Yeah, I can understand that. I'm just going to probably show you guys in a map what it looks like. I was sharing a screen earlier what the new stadium is going to look like, but this is like a map. I showed this in a video earlier. So this red dot is this red marker here. This red pin is actually the area where the stadium was purchased. This is where Old Trafford is. Basically, this is the Freightliner area. So they got this triangular land. and they're going to build the whole 100,000 seater stadium. And they've left the Freightliner, and this is Old Trafford. Taking it down, I can understand, because I can understand you saying, right, that why should they take it down? But I also understand from the perspective of maintaining a 70,000 seater stadium and a 100,000 seater stadium is a lot of expenditure. So if you scale it down, you're not taking it down, you're just scaling it down, removing a lot of top rows and bringing it down to 30,000. It will still host a lot of other tournaments. I know some fans don't like that, and it's also a bit too controversial. But like, I can understand it from the maintenance perspective. And like you mentioned, if they need the money, why don't they wait and all of that? But these guys want to make a big bang for their buck based on how much is invested in this team and in this club. So I can understand that. But it's all good.
Why take it down and why downgrade it? They can actually generate money to. Why not turn it to a museum, like to a tourist?
That's part of the plan as well. That's part of the plan. If you look at some of the things, just give me one quick sec. I was going to check that out. So these are the plans I thought. So the question I asked basically while I was doing my research is, what happens to the old stadium after the move? First and foremost, what happens during the construction? There will be no disruption. The club does not need to temporarily relocate or downsize match day capacities. The team will play all home games on the existing Old Trafford until the new arena is fully completed. So we still have until like 2031. Preserving matchday rituals. Fans can maintain their historic matchday walking routes, call pub visits, and traditions because of the new stadium, which is built on the same wider footprint. Then you also have another question. What happens to the Old Trafford after the move? Is scaled down as a heritage option. That's an option, which would mean that initial concepts suggest that they will reduce the capacity of the current stadium to roughly 30,000 to 35,000. It would also be preserved as a historical monument to host Manchester United women's matches, academy teams fixtures, and community sports events. Then you also have the fact that it's a suggestion that they might demolish it and turn it to a place for 15,000 new homes. So it's still a concept. And the one thing that you most likely would find out when you do a research is the fact that by July 9th, we'll get a full concept of what the stadium is going to look like. So we wait until July 9th. So that's about the stadium. Now we go to the squad rebuild. Now, there are so many players that Manchester United are interested in. Looking at the concrete pursuit of Éderson from Atalanta and the potential, because we've secured Éderson, right? The potential chase for West Ham's Mateus Fernandes. What is the clear tactical profile that United is trying to use when it comes to recruitment in chasing that summer transfer target compared to last summer?
Well, I think I've said it times without number, and I will say it again. A lot of United fans might call out me.
Mm-hmm.
The success of last year's summer signing is solely based on Ruben Amorim. I will say it anytime, any day. And within the last few weeks of the season 2024-2025, we actually have a technical know-how of players we want to sign. It was quite evident. We saw it this return leg against Wolverhampton Wanderers when he was actually talking to Kua. The last match against Brentford, he was talking to Umbomo. He actually had a meeting with Semenyo in a restaurant before the season ends. And we know. And let me now shock you. The first signing, United announced their first signing June 1,
2025. Yeah.
Today is June 24th in Nigeria.
Yeah.
June 24th. Even Éderson deal is not completed, and it will not be announced until Brazil journey ends in the ongoing World Cup. It's quite pathetic.
Yeah.
And I released a video about how it is so shameful how Manchester United has moved from a top A player, top B player to a top C player.
Okay.
It is quite embarrassing. And I was actually surprised when I saw someone saying, oh, he saw someone put up a video and he's saying United has moved from a top A player to a top C player. He doesn't see it that way. I was actually expecting the person to
To
actually talk
explain.
and
Yeah.
let's have some kind of debate and
Mhm.
dialogue. In as much as you see, I tend to actually have some kind of this thing. And we see some of us that actually try to put out content and takes about United. We don't just set cameras. We make researches. We watch videos. We digest a whole lot of materials before we actually sit down to make it. And at the end of the day, you may actually put it out and people will actually say this is it. But it will be fact. It will be fact at the end of the day. And right now, United is you want to get something of quality, but you don't want to spend.
Spend
Where is
money.
being done? Where is it being done? Where and how? And I won't be surprised. I won't be surprised if all these targets that we are being linked to, we won't end up getting most of them at the end of the day.
Yeah, that makes sense. With regards to the recruitment strategy, I believe that Manchester United is trying to look at players that are quite Premier League experience. I mean, my brother came out to say the other day, even Jason Wilcox as well, talking about players that are doing well in their clubs, players that are doing well in their teams and everything in between, and players that are doing well in the Premier League and outside Europe and all of that. But yeah, with regards to the securing, with regards to securing this guy Éderson from Atalanta, I think part of it is the fact that he basically needs to come through by 1st of July. Hence why. But the deal is already done. Medical's probably already done. We're just waiting for the announcement. So, but the question I have for you now is with Mateus Fernandes. West Ham are holding out for an £85 million bid, while Tottenham are interested. West Ham holding out for that war, for a bidding war between Man United and Tottenham over Fernandes. Now, do you think that United should move away from Mateus Fernandes, or is Fernandes the absolute perfect partner for Kobe Menu in that midfield?
Well, I feel like it actually depends on the kind of midfield, the kind of game, the kind of system Michael Carrick actually wants to set up.
Mm-hmm.
And Mateus Fernandes, I don't see Mateus Fernandes as a sitting six.
Okay.
Mateus Fernandes plays as a central midfielder and attacking midfielder. And in the long run, I think we've actually discussed this before. Mateus Fernandes will actually be a proper understudy under
For
Bruno
Bruno
Fernandes
Fernandes. Yeah,
ahead
we mentioned
of
that.
the future. Now, West Ham have set their price. 85 million valuation. 85 million valuation. 85 million pounds is a price to bargain on. If United are actually serious, I've been hearing series of speculations. United have struck a personal term agreement, in as much as that doesn't even sit well with me. I don't think we've struck a personal term agreement. I think all we had is verbal.
Yeah, I think they just said the agreement is pretty much in the works, but nothing particularly, has come out of it. It's just personal terms is not going to be an issue. Which leads me to my next question with regards to the contingency targets, like the alternatives.
Okay,
Rumor.
I think
Go ahead.
I have a bit reservation on
Okay.
Mateus Fernandes, and this is it. A
Okay.
whole lot of United fans feels, oh, the whole thing that is surrounding the media is some kind of media push from George Mendes who is the player's agent. And I feel like it's two sides of a coin. If you are seeing it as a media push, I'm also seeing it as a concrete interest. Remember, they actually pushed for Tonali, 100 million, and sorry, 75 million. It was rejected. And ever since then, they've not been able to push. United, okay, we feel we want to get this player. 85 million valuation is on the table. You have to bargain on. Okay, start with something. For the past 3 weeks, we've not been able to do anything.
Okay.
It doesn't make sense to us as a club.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. Now, there's a news that actually broke out today. They've inquired for Alex Scott and Bournemouth said they aren't selling. Where are we heading to?
So speaking of that, Alex Scott, rumors are also swirling that Arsenal are sniffing around Bournemouth for Alex Scott. But Alex Scott from Bournemouth is heavily tracked as a third midfield option, as you mentioned just now. And if United lose out on Fernandes to Spurs, is Alex Scott a plug-and-play alternative, or does the profile force a completely different system for Man United?
I think it's a deep. I think Alex Scott will fit into United system, and it actually depends on how we actually want to set up.
Yeah,
there's some players that will be coming into this team that you see. Kobe Mino will actually spend a lot of time on the bench next season, but it will.
You think so? Because I
Yeah,
know
if we
Man United fans are going to be super annoyed when you hear that Kobe Mino is going to spend a lot of time on the bench.
If we bring in some players, see, we know his pace, and I'll continue to say it.
Yeah.
If we manage to get these certain players, Kobe Mino will only if Carrick wants to be very adamant and he wants to actually feel like, because he doesn't want the media and United fans to come against him, you actually make sure he wants to play. But with the way I'm seeing it, let me take us back a bit. Amorim said something. Kobe Mino's best position is near the ball, near the goal.
Box. Yeah.
And if that is going to happen, don't you? The same thing that happened under Amorim will actually happen to Kobe. Yeah, which means he will actually have to fight for that place.
With Alex Scott or with Mateus Fernandes?
No, even let's take him off that CM role.
Okay.
He said near the goal. And near the goal I'm talking about is in that number 10 role. And we saw it at the Euros 2024.
Anyway, yeah, I understand what you mean. But like I just did a quick comparison of both players, Alex Scott and Mateus Fernandes. And on SofaScore, by the way, you can actually see similar heat map. Yeah, similar heat map. But Alex Scott is more of a central guy. Mateus Fernandes is more of a defensive guy. If you see where his heat map is, more in the defensive third and the attacking third. He can play as a Bruno, but Alex Scott is more of a central guy. He's all over this box area where actually Bruno plays. If you look at, their stats with regards to that, Alex Scott's played 37. This is only in the Premier League. 37 games. Mateus Fernandes played 36, but minutes per game, Alex Scott had 77. Mateus had more minutes per game. Mateus played more minutes than Alex Scott last season. Both of them got 3 goals. Expected goals, Mateus Fernandes outdid his expected goals, while Alex Scott did 3.81. You look at passes, Mateus Fernandes had 4 more passes, 4 more assists, while Alex Scott had 1. Assists per game, Mateus always has 0.1 assists per game, and all of that. Then defending, Alex Scott is more of a He was dribbled past 0.6 times per game, 2.2 clearances, 0.4 block shots. But Mateus Fernandes was dribbled past once per game, on average of 1 time per game, right? So one is more of a defensive guy, the other is more of an attacking, like more of a box-to-box guy, and Alex Scott is that box-to-box guy. And I see what you mean when you say that Kobe Manu is the guy that is most likely going to be benched, because if you bring in a central midfielder like Alex Scott, you kind of change a lot of things. And I want to further compare this with Bruno Fernandes, because I wanted us to see something, and not using the FIFA World Cup, but just the Premier League, right? Now, I want you to see some similarities between Mateus Fernandes and Bruno Fernandes. So this is Bruno Fernandes. This is Mateus Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes is more on the attacking side of things. Look at where he's more concentrated. Look at Alex Scott as well. So there's most likely a chance that all these players kind of complement each other one way or another. But it is what it is. Yeah. So moving on to the next thing with regards to that. The next question I have for you is basically, the fans might actually worry about buying players from relegated teams. That's basically that. Lower table sides. Now, I would like you to talk to the fans, the listeners, why you think that Alex Scott justifies being a better option to Mateus Fernandes.
Well, you said it. You said it all. You said it all. But if it is possible to actually get both players, because listen, this Ineos has a circle, and I think I released the video about it. As it stands, in every summer transfer window, it is guaranteed we are going to get 3 players guaranteed.
Yeah.
Then additional one based on situation or the leftovers from the money or opportunities, that will make it 4. But it is guaranteed we will get 3 players. That is the Ineos models. And I think if you can actually get, Tonali is out of it.
He's out of it. He's out of it.
Anderson, Elliott is out of it. Baleba is not an option right now.
Yeah.
So now,
but there's still talk of like Man United pivoting back to Baleba, but yeah.
Yeah, because if they fail to secure Mateus Fernandes, and look at it, you said something, and it actually makes sense. Mateus Fernandes is good defensively, then Alex Scott is good offensively, in the offensive position. Now, this is it. Why not prioritize and get the 2 of them, then make the midfield dynamic like PSG, positional rotation of Joao Neves and Vitinha.
Okay. That makes sense.
I think that will actually make sense. You have someone that chilled, that covers the defense with his pace, and someone that progresses the ball into the final third offensively, that can actually link up with Bruno Fernandes. It's actually okay like that. But it depends on the kind of ways we are actually looking at it. I don't know Alex Scott's age, but I know Mateus is 20.
Alex Scott is 22, Mateus Fernandes is 21.
At least we have 8-9 years secured from both players.
Yeah.
So,
and speaking of other targets, Manchester City are confident. This is according to Fabrizio Romano. Manchester City are confident to get Elliot Anderson deal done now at the final stages. After work behind the scenes, new round of talks to take place for the English midfielder who would undergo a medical in US before joining Manchester City if all goes to plan. So it's like that one too was out the window a couple of days ago. And just as you were saying.
That's about 450 million package that we surpass.
Trust me.
Alexander Isak.
I'm going to make a very wild claim here. I think this guy is not going to. Yeah, I'm going to make a wild claim here. This guy is going to. You guys can clip me up. Is not going to turn up at Manchester City. I don't know why I'm saying this.
Are you saying another Calvin Phillips?
maybe not even Calvin Phillips, another Jack Grealish here. Like the price tag is way too, and not for us actually milking this deal and trying to make more money out of it. But yeah, keep going as you were saying. With regards to that, you're actually saying that Man United should go for Mateus Fernandes and Alex Scott at the same time instead of going for one or the other.
Yeah, at least is quite okay.
But
It's quite
but
okay.
but Ben Jacobs is saying that Spurs are this was 6 hours ago, that Spurs are in advanced talks with Mateus Fernandes as they rival Manchester United for West Ham midfielder.
You
Fernandes is
see,
one of
that
the
is
yeah.
you see, that is
Fernandes,
the whole thing that is
yeah,
convincing the whole of Manchester United fans.
yeah,
A lot of
yeah.
people actually believes this is some kind of media push by George Mendes. And me,
Mm,
I'm not saying it like that. Me, I feel like maybe Spurs has actually weighed their options as they tends to go in for Tonali, and that was actually turned out. Forget, Tonali will be turning 27 in,
yeah, toward beginning of next season.
yeah, and Mateus is 21. And by the time maybe they offer him 4 5 years contract, he will be 26. And that
Yeah,
time he will be picking and entering his prime. He may be sold for another whooping fee.
yeah. Profit. Yeah, you look at that. Mateus Fernandes, according to Ben Jacobs, is one of Tottenham's top targets and exclusively revealed. West Ham are seeking 80 to 85 million, around double what they paid for to Southampton. An incoming 90 million pound shareholder cash injection is likely to leave West Ham in a stronger negotiating position. Manchester United are also in talks with both Mateus Fernandes, and West Ham. Spurs are also rivaling Manchester City for Sandro Tonali, and Spurs, Manchester United, and Arsenal all have Alex Scott on their radar, who Bournemouth hope signs a new deal. Movement expected now in the next few days, weeks on all fronts as clubs enter into the new
Mhm.
financial year. So most likely from the 1st of July, we shall start to know what is actually going on. And Fabrizio Romano has said clear feeling on Fernandes deal. As reported last week, he's ending up at the club bringing best financial proposal to West Ham. Mateus has opened doors to both Man United first and then Tottenham now it's up to the clubs. So it's really, really tough for us to actually, break these kinds of things down because it's not going well. It's not looking like it's going well for us. Then another one is I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to call this the Rashford domino attack, domino and the attack depth. Let's look at the front line because obviously we can talk all day, all night about the midfield.
A bomber just dropped now from Matteo
Okay,
Moretto.
okay,
Tottenham and West Ham are already negotiating for Mateus Fernandes. For Roberto Di Zerbi, the player is one of the priority signings to reinforce the midfield. The player has already given approval to the transfer.
that is Matteo Moretto bringing it forward.
Yeah, someone just
That is
posted it in the group right now.
that is absolutely preposterous. That's what I'm going to say. This is not looking good at all. So I'll find the news. Um, yeah. So that was how many hours ago? Just recent.
Now, Cruises
Yeah.
just dropped it in the group.
Okay. Then it's crazy, man. 4 hours ago, Manchester United, Marco Alcaraz. Wow. Marco Alcaraz on X said Manchester United are no longer sole frontliners for Mateus Fernandes. Tottenham Hotspur are also close to agreeing personal terms with the 21-year-old. Spurs are prepared to offer. Oh, I just lost that. Let's go back. Yeah, let's go back quickly. Marco Alcaraz says Spurs are reportedly ready to offer huge wages plus higher transfer fee than Man United. Decision whether to continue pursuing him or move on the alternative target is up to Manchester United. This is Now, somebody posted something before we move on. He said Manchester United in name moving like Mike Ashley. This is a banter. 130 million Anderson walked away. 100 million Diomande walked away. 100 million Baleba walked away. 90 million Tonali walked away. 80 million Louis Hall window shopping. 80 million Mateus Fernandes tire kicking. That's basically getting angry. 35 million Éderson, instant purchase, right? So, and yeah, somebody has. This is a parody, but I'm gonna show you guys. Just give a quick one. Let me just share my screen and show you guys. It's a parody, and I like the fun thing. So I'm annoyed, but it is what it is. So this is a parody. Look at this. That's a lie. That's a lie. Don't believe it. So first of all, look at the look at the handle first before you get carried away. Look at the handle. It's a parody account. Udogi
Yeah.
lover.
Sure.
It's a Spurs fan that did that. Right. So it is what it is. Anyway, just wanted to, a little bit of a banter. So mine looks like this player is slipping out of their hands, and I'm not gonna like Mateus Fernandes if he joins Spurs, but it is what it is. The next point is the attack. Well, before you came on with the news, um, it feels like the incoming business is completely handcuffed by outgoing stars. Now, we know that United is actually interested in West Ham's Crysencio Summerville, but sources say that it depends entirely on Marcus Rashford leaving, right? So realistically, my question to you is, do you think or do you see a market for Marcus Rashford this summer that allows United to pull the trigger on Summerville?
Well, I think um, it is high time both the board and
Mm.
Rashford they need to sit down,
Mm-hmm.
find a, 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 a balanced ground for each other. And
Mm-hmm.
we know when Ineos came in, Rashford was actually one of those players on high wages
Mm-hmm.
that were on the list of being asked out of the club. They weren't seeing Rashford as concrete.
Mm-hmm.
But remember, before Ineos came in, he had issues with Mourinho, he had issues with Ragnick,
Mm-hmm.
he had with Ten Hag. Then Amorim came in, the same thing continued. And they actually have no option than to just ask him out of the team
Yeah.
and you use that avenue. And remember, there's a certain player, he granted an interview and says he is seeking a new challenge. And
Yeah.
right now, his current contract will be expiring in 2028 June.
Yeah.
And I think at the end of the day, Rashford might end up going on another.
Yeah. That's what it looks like too. I agree with you on that. He might
And
end up going on
United will cover some part of his
all the
wages.
wages.
He,
Yeah.
he may
That's
not go back to Barca. He may not go back to Barca.
but I'm also hearing
But
that Spurs are going to bid for him for £40 million.
yeah,
I'm hearing
40
that.
million pounds. If they bid for him for 40 million pounds, then he should go. But
I think we should sell him
expect
40 million pounds
expect
and he
drama.
just goes. Yeah, I know there's
Expect
gonna be
drama.
drama. Yeah.
Expect drama with Dizebi. You
Yeah,
know
yeah.
who Dizebi is.
He
Expect
turned
drama.
Greenwood to a beast, so he can actually turn Rashford into something else.
If
You
only
never can.
Rashford is willing.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
I think Rashford just tends to put those things up because he was playing outside his country.
yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
We know what their media does to them,
Mm,
and I just need him to put his head down. Every several mistakes he's actually made in the past, he can
mm,
actually correct it.
yeah,
He's a
but
black man, and he
yeah,
knows what they does to them in that country.
yeah, but I also think that fans have moved on from him. Because when you look at the wages, it's a massive hurdle for us. And then if Rashford stays, does United risk going into a season dangerously thin on the wings, or can Man United survive without Somerville? That's my question to you. Like, obviously, we get Rashford. It looks like there's most likely going to be a chance he might be one of the strikers or the left wingers. Where does that leave Cunha? Where does that leave Dogo? What does that do for wingers? I know we need a winger as well, but what does that do for Xerxes? Does it mean that we sell Xerxes because Rashford is going to be one of the
Well,
strikers? What does that mean for Sheshko? These are the domino effects that Rashford leaving or joining this team or coming back to the team has on the team.
in all honesty, I don't think a board in their right sense will reinstate Rashford back into it.
Okay.
If That is one thing Amorim did that never lasted 24 hours at the job. Speaking to the board, let everyone do their job. I will do mine. It's not as disastrous as what Rashford said.
Yeah.
Amorim wasn't saying he was leaving. Rashford said he needs a new
You need a new
challenge.
challenge. Yeah.
So irrespective of whoever the manager is, why bring him back into the team?
Yeah, I agree.
We have someone that is versatile enough to actually play that
Play
role.
all that
And
position, yeah.
Dogu is actually seen as a backup. Then
So
why do you...
which means we need a right-sided winger, because Ahmad and, well, if you look at it technically, we have a backup for right-sided winger because you have Ahmad and Mbumo.
Shelisi is there.
Yeah.
I think Shelisi should be coming into the first team also.
Yeah, but I don't think he's ready for complete first team. I'm thinking Ahmad and Mbumo on the left, on the right side, Kunya and Dogo on the right side. Then you just need a striker, or you turn Mbumo to be your second striker, and then you get Shelisi to be a backup for Ahmad.
You play Dogu, because Dogu effective side of the pitch is the right side. Don't let's
Well, it's the
mistake
right
it.
side. Yeah. I think he scores from there too as well. That's super
So
interesting.
it's just left to Michael Carrick, to be very honest. And I think with our team right now, next season I want to see some kind of positional rotation. If we're doing some kind of positional rotation, it's going to make a difference for us. But bringing Rashford back means the board doesn't have a technical know-how of what they want to do.
All right.
They just keep telling it for us.
Before we go to the quick fire section, before we now move on to Man United players performing in the World Cup, backup goalkeepers. We heard recently that Casadó is going to be a backup goalkeeper, but I think he signed for Spurs now. Sam Johnston. Sam Johnston used to be he's a Man United academy graduate, played for Wolves as a backup goalkeeper. Who do you think? I don't expect that you have so much of an opinion about this, but who do you think should be a backup goalkeeper for Man United? Because in the modern squad, it is vital to use domestic budget on experienced number two, like Sam Johnston versus blooding and academic graduate. What do you think about Sam Johnston? And do you think we should go for him, or we should look within and get our backup goalkeeper from the academy?
Well, I think all those names being mentioned are just something to actually give the fans some kind of hope. We have a talent in the club. Let me start. But what are United boss doing? They can't even sit down and talk to Vitek.
Yeah, but Vitek has tested first team football. He's tasted first team football and doesn't want to let go.
In all honesty, that's how we look. We lost Kovac. That's how we lost
Kovac, and the Anderson as well. Henderson.
Yes. Why not give him some kind of confidence talk to him? He's good. Yeah, he's good. It is not bad to actually rotate between him and Lamens. In all honesty.
But the question is, would he? Because now Peter Cech has planted a seed in his mind and his heart.
No matter what Peter Cech actually tells him, it's now left to United board to actually come into place. Give him a soft landing. Out of 38 Premier League matches, we guarantee you 10 or 15, 13 out of it. It's something to hope for. Lamens will not be at the top of, will not be 100% at the top of his game for 38 Premier League matches, Champions League matches, and let's say he won't be keeping at the Carabao and FA Cup next season.
Yeah.
Let's sit down and talk about it. There was a time we have a certain Thomas Kuszak sitting on the bench as a backup goalkeeper to Van der Sar. There was a time we have Tom Hilton too. So It is just the way the board were able to like sit him down, negotiate with him. Are we going to lose another talent just like that?
Yeah, I agree with you.
Then that is number one. Number two, I'm having a feeling Andre Onana will be Manchester United bag of goalkeeper for next season.
Nah, I don't think that's gonna happen. That ship has sailed. I
You know
think that
why?
ship has sailed.
You know why?
Why?
You know why? In the season of 2024-2025, United didn't make Champions League football. 25% out of their salaries were cut.
Yeah.
Now, United is back to the Champions League.
Yeah.
Their salaries go back to 100% automatically.
Yeah.
Remember, Andre Onana's contract is ending June 2028. Now, if you rather come back, sit on that bench,
And
consider his
collect it.
age,
And collect it.
29 going to 30. This is an African man. The next job is going to take, no club will actually be willing to pay him that amount. Let's set it straight. So he will actually refers to sit on the bench, wind down his contracts, and take his money if they
Yeah.
are not able to find some sort of level ground.
That's a possibility, and I see most fans are also saying the same thing that you're saying right now. But it is what it is. We'll continue to review the transfers. Probably review it another time. The last segment of this show is basically the Manchester United players performing at the World Cup. There are 12 first-team players representing their respective countries in the 2026 FIFA World Cup across North America. The Red Devils players include Argentina, Lisandro Martinez. What's your thoughts on his performance in this World Cup?
Absolutely spot on. I think their first two matches he has started, and you have someone like Romero sitting on the bench, and Licha has been solid. We saw the kind of comment his teammates actually dropped under his post after their last match, saluting him for his solidity and his ruggedity in that back line. Amazing player, and we know when Licha is at the top of his game, is undisputed, and the kind of line breaking passes he throws, the way he doesn't have the height, but the way he's actually able to take on players with that area prowess and everything is spectacular. He has been amazing so far.
Okay. The next one is Sonolomans. He hasn't played a single minute. I feel like if Belgium had him in that back line, there was a goal that, not trying to discredit or put this guy down, what's his name? Thibaut Courtois. But I said there was this shot that Courtois didn't save in that Belgium lineup. I think Sonolomans saves that. But he hasn't had a minute to play, so nothing particularly interesting to report for that. Then you have, for Brazil, because we're going in alphabetical order, we've gone from Argentina to Belgium, now to Brazil. You have Casemiro and Mateus Cunha. Your thoughts?
Well, Casemiro in the first match, we saw what happened in the first match. Casemiro struggled a bit alongside Bruno Gomes. Carlo Ancelotti actually restructured the whole thing, and they played their third match today. Their second match, Casemiro was on top of his game. Third match again, he was solid. I think he got a 7 point something rating. He was sub off in the 69th minute today, I think. Yeah,
Yes.
Spectacular so far. And speaking about Kua just actually sent Igor Thiago back to
To the
the
bench.
bench, and he
Yep.
had actually gotten a seat belt to cement, to actually put himself,
Yeah. My
because
issue with that Igor Thiago guy is that he gets 10 chances and misses 9. That's my problem with
yeah.
him.
So their second match that they played, we saw how Kunwa was actually brought into the match, and we've actually analyzed this. You saw the way Kunwa was tracking backs, trying to start play, eating with his weak foot, and right now, I think Kunwa should have about how many goals?
Three
Four.
goals in the World Cup.
3 goals. 3 goals in the World Cup. He got a brace, and that brace actually sent that guy back to the bench because you can't. Kunwa's clinicality
He's
and ruthlessness
undisputed.
in front of goals. When he's with the ball, you can't even strip up the ball off him. And that's how they gave him the name. Everyone that plays fine in Brazil are called Joga Bonito. And we saw
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So there's no way. He's been spot on so far. Amazing player.
Okay. The next one is England. Mr. Freedom Fighter and Mr. Freedom Fighter. There are two freedom fighters. That's what I'm saying. Mr. Freedom Fighter and Mr. Freedom Fighter. Mr. I need to play and Mr. I need a new challenge. Kobe Menu and Marcus Rashford. Kobe Menu has barely got a minute. Marcus Rashford has 1 goal. Thoughts?
Well, speaking of Marcus Rashford, in their first match, he came off the bench. He got a goal. In the second match, we all saw how England struggles and
Yeah.
this on both of them. And Rashford has a spectacular season, a nice season with Barcelona.
Yep.
If not that Barcelona have been dimensional and they actually have a player.
Do you think that they've made a mistake getting Anthony Gordon over Rashford?
I think I've told a couple of people on TikTok Live. It's not a mistake. Gordon is 24, if I'm not mistaken. Yes.
Yeah. If
Yeah,
you say based on age, yes. And Rashford is
yeah,
27, 28. So
yeah. And if we look at Rashford off the ball, is the problem of the
yeah.
ball. And football has moved beyond that. If you don't want to contribute off the ball, you'll be left behind. We saw a couple of PSG players saying it. Under Luis Enrique, if you can't press, that is it.
Yeah. That makes sense.
He's actually gonna pull you off. And
That makes
that's
sense.
it. Yeah. And looking at Gordon, United wants 30 million for Rashford, Gordon's 80 million. Gordon signed a 6 years deal. Amazing. By 30
We'll
years.
probably pay 15 million per year to Newcastle for Gordon.
Yeah, so
Amortization.
yeah, it's a smart business. It's a smart business. And I'm telling you, Barcelona approach to game is actually gonna change next season. I think
Yeah.
they're gonna be pressing a lot, and that's one of the reasons why they want to get
Gordon.
this guy.
Anthony Gordon.
No, also this guy from Atletico Madrid,
Julian Alvarez.
Julian Alvarez. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Now the next one is Ahmad. Performance, 2 goals. Great performance.
wait,
Or what do you
have we
think?
analyzed Kobe?
Yeah, we said Kobe hasn't played a single minute. You wanted to say something about him?
Yeah, I want to say something to United
Okay, go
fans,
ahead.
and this is it. This is it.
Okay.
This is it. I've always been saying it. Allow players to actually develop properly. When the coach actually says, this is the reason why I'm not playing this player, this is it. Let these coaches do their job. And we can see it. Kobe can't even bench Elliot Anderson in that team. We know Kobe has a lot to improve on and he's working behind the scene. But now he's sitting nicely on the bench. The first 2
with seat
matches,
with
he
seat belt.
hasn't, yeah, he hasn't featured for England. And I think in their next match, I think Declan Rice is having a discomfort and he may actually come into play. But
I still don't think Thomas Tuchel will start.
Tuchel may not even do it.
Yeah, he will
That
start
is
Anderson.
the
We start Anderson. If you look at having a quick look at the England squad, yeah, Thomas Tuchel will probably start. Let me just now that we know that Rice is most likely injured, maybe he might be back next game. But if you look at that lineup, he started with Rice and Anderson as the 2 holding midfielders. The other options he has, if he wanted to play, because he took off Elliot Anderson at the 74th minute, and who did he bring on? Berge, right? There is also Jordan Henderson in that defensive midfield role, right? So it's going to be really, really tough. Kobe and Jordan Henderson are the only midfielders in that team that haven't played. Eberechieze has played, Morgan Rogers has played, Declan Rice has played, Elliot Anderson has played, Jude Bellingham has played.
I will tell you for a fact that we even play Jordan Henderson ahead of Kobe.
Ahead of Kobe. That's the thing. But it's all good because the Kobe, if you're looking at Kobe, he's like most likely the backup for Jude Bellingham, right? But still,
I told you play in the number 10 role. I think I
yeah,
said it. I
yeah,
said
yeah,
in the last section. Like
mm-hmm,
if you bring in the duo of Fernandes and Alex Scott to Manchester United, Kobe
mm-hmm,
we actually that situation that he had under Amorim, he will now fall back into that position,
yeah,
struggling for that place alongside Bruno
yeah,
Fernandes. Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, next one is Amad Diallo. Um, Thoughts on his performance? Yeah, to make that guy turn up. Yeah.
Carrick has blood in his hands, and it's quite so pathetic that
Yeah.
a whole lot of United fans about 6-7 weeks ago were saying sell Mbomo, sell Ahmad, they are not good for Manchester United. Have we actually sat down to actually think and brainstorm on this setting, on this emanating issue?
Mhm.
Why is it that when these players go and represent their national teams, they turn
They
up?
turn up. Yeah. Yeah.
They're coming back to United, they struggle. What has gone behind the scene? What
Yeah.
is Carrick supposed to do that he's not doing with these boys?
Yeah.
We need
Yeah.
to ask that
Those
question
questions.
because
Yeah.
Ahmad has been, I think I released a video about five days ago.
Mm-hmm.
Ahmad has been the best Manchester United player so far in this tournament.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we saw him in the first match. He came on in the 56 minutes. Nobody has more successful dribble
Dribbles.
and
Yeah.
6/7, and he got them that late winner in the 98th minute. And the second game also, he was supposed to score that goal, but he didn't struck that ball well. That guy hit it before the other guy. Casey actually doubles it
Got
home.
the
So
chance. Yeah.
Ahmad has been fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next one on our team on our list is Morocco for Nuzai Mazraoui. Nuzai Mazraoui has turned to prime right-footed player turned to prime Roberto Carlos. Thoughts?
Well, this is not the first time Mazraoui actually been doing that. And
Yeah, I think he did it at the AFCON too. He did really well at the AFCON.
yeah, and on Mazraoui's case, this is what I'll say. A player that doesn't play too often, there are some things you don't actually tend to put out about them because
Mm-hmm.
there are some players that actually needs that rhythm, that consistent playing time to get into the rhythm of their game. And I think Nouri Mazraoui is actually one of them. Playing at the left back, that is the way he plays at AFCON too. But what happened? He came back to United. He was being dropped back into the bench. What do you
Yes,
expect him
exactly.
to do? But people did not understand. But there was actually a report about him, in as much as I wasn't believing that. He said
Yeah.
he actually respects, he prays a lot, he actually respects, he reads the Quran and everything.
I think he
He may
wanted
decide,
to become an imam or something. So,
yeah,
that.
saying that he may decide to retire after the World Cup.
Yeah, I don't
So,
think that's a true rumor, but it is what it
yeah,
is. It's all rumors.
yeah.
The next one is Portugal. Diogo Dalot. He hasn't played a single minute.
Dalo hasn't played, and we
Yeah,
understand that
yeah.
that
That squad is
right
really tight.
back of Portugal is stacked. You have João Cancelo, you have Nelson Semedo, you have Diego Dalot, you have Mateus Nunes also.
Yeah,
Mateus
Matheus Nunes.
Nunes
Yeah.
hasn't played
I'm disappointed.
also.
Matheus Nunes should have been a central midfielder in that squad, but it is what it is.
Yeah, but even
He's
him
a right back.
playing as a right back, he's supposed
Mm.
to have future because I prefer him more than João Cancelo. Because with
Yeah,
Mateus Fernandes, with Mateus
Matheus
Nunes,
Nunes. Yeah.
expect a lot of cross from that right flank.
Yeah, João Cancelo got an assist in the last game, even though I didn't want him to start, but it is what it is. Anyway, move on
Just
to the next one.
we know who João Cancelo is.
Yeah, he's Mr. Versatile. Him and Semedo as well are the same thing. So the next one is Bruno Fernandes. Performance in the World Cup.
Well, the first round of game for he played. It was nothing to be all about. And we saw another Bruno with Vitinha playing too much backward passes, and then they were able to correct it. And
He
we've
performed there and
seen
got an assist. Yeah.
we've seen that we've
Yeah.
seen that type of assist before, and
Yeah.
that is the Bruno we used. His ability to actually decide once on every matters.
Yeah.
It makes the difference. His IQ, his ability to read the game faster and release the nice passes for your striker to actually convert makes sense. Look at that pass to Ronaldo and look at where Ronaldo actually ended that ball. It's actually nice, and I'll be expecting more from
More.
him.
Yeah. Next person on our list is Tyler Fletcher for Scotland. Hasn't got a single minute. It is what it is. Scotland are in trouble, so I don't expect him to get a single minute in that one. So that one's out the window. If he gets a minute, that's fine. Another player who hasn't gotten a single minute is Turkey's Alter Binder. Hasn't got a single minute. And Shakir is busy conceding a lot of goals. So that goes a whole lot to talk about what the plan is for Binder. And I think Binder is going to the Turkish league after this World Cup. So it is what it is. The last person on our list is the one player that I've always said time and again needs game time and rhythm for him to put up a good performance, and has hardly got that in Man United. And then coming into the World Cup, you can actually see that the lack of proper game time, proper match rhythm is showing in his game, but he's also able to put up some good performances, at least for the first two games he's played and the minutes he's played. And that is Uruguay's Manuel Ugarte. Your thoughts?
I'll continue to say it. Ugarte is a decent DM and is a fantastic player.
Yeah.
And like I said for Mazraoui, you can't give a player, you don't give a player playing time and you now label it as if the player is bad. Let's get it back to 2024-2025 season. Ugarte was one of our best player in the Europa League. And if Marcelo Bielsa, the tactical genius, can be trusting Ugarte in that team, then something is wrong at Manchester United. And I'll continue to say, Ugarte's problem is the same thing he faced at PSG.
But isn't it ironic that Ruben Amorim is interested in him for AC Milan?
Listen, we know who Ruben Amorim is. And I won't be surprised if we see the beasts out of that boy.
Yeah.
He's just 24. He's just 24.
He's got time. It's all good. Anyway, that's pretty much what it is. All my United players, especially the first teamers, have been, doing really well when it comes to like their team and how they've been performing, especially at the World Cup. 12 players at the World Cup. I think about 7 are playing, have got minutes, but the rest have no minutes. But it is what it is. Anyway, we've come to the end of the show. Let's wrap it up now. And thank you so much for watching. Thank you to Mr. Awesome for joining us. Mr. Awesome, please tell the viewers where you would like them to check you out.
Well, on TikTok, it's Awesome FC for Manchester United content, and exclusive by Awesome FC for general football on TikTok, and on YouTube also is at Awesome FC for Manchester United, and exclusive by Awesome FC for general football, and on Facebook is at Temitope Elijah. So that's it.
All right, guys, go check him out at Awesome FC, exclusive by Awesome FC on all of the social media platforms. You can find his content. He always does deep dives, deep analysis. He does not, like, one of the things I've admired about Mr. Awesome is the fact that when he does the Man United financials, he comes up with like a stat and a fact that I've never heard before. And then when I go check it, he's actually done his deep dives to actually find stuff like that. But yeah, thank you, Mr. Awesome, for joining us on United Talks podcast. This is the first ever United Talks weekly that we're going to be doing. Next week, we'll come up with another podcast episode for United Talks Weekly, talking about all the things that are going on at Manchester United, at least for the summer, till we figure out how things go with our new schedule that will come up in the Premier League. Anyway, let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't have to miss anything as it relates to all things Manchester United. I'll see you on the next one. Take care, goodbye, and God bless.